There is a moment in the process of change that almost no one talks about openly, a silent moment, invisible, yet decisive. It's that instant when you started well, you were moving, you were progressing, and suddenly, without warning, something pulls you backward. That is exactly where it appears. The exhaustion, the doubt, the confusion, the urge to quit everything, the feeling that this doesn't make sense, and even that thought you know very well, is this really worth it? Or worse, maybe this isn't for me. And the most curious part, this moment doesn't come at the beginning. It comes when you're close. Close to breaking a pattern, close to crossing a barrier, close to changing something that's been stuck for years. And right there, you think about giving up. Today, on day 3 of our series, I'm going to show you why this happens, the hidden mechanism behind this kind of giving up, why this exact moment is where transformation begins, and how to cross this point without going back. When you understand this, you'll stop blaming yourself and finally be able to move through the process of change without self-sabotage. Today, you'll understand, deeply and honestly, why you give up exactly when you're closest to changing. I want to tell you about someone I followed closely. Let's call her Helena. Helena was that determined kind of person. How many times did she say to herself, "This time it's going to work"? And she didn't say it lightly. She truly believed it. She started strong. In the first days, she was motivated, organized, disciplined. She cleaned the house, made plans, created lists, promised herself that this time would be different. And it was, for a few days, but there was always a point. Always the same point. Suddenly, she would wake up tired. Not normal physical tiredness, but a deep, strange exhaustion, as if something were draining her energy from the inside. Suddenly, she started to doubt. Suddenly, everything felt too big. Suddenly, certainty turned into confusion. Suddenly, courage disappeared. And with that came a thought. I'm not ready. Or maybe I overdid it. Or I don't think this was the right moment. And then, without realizing it, she went back to what she already knew, back to the old, back to the safe place, back to the cycle. And every time this happened, she blamed herself deeply. Why am I like this? Why do I give up? Why can't I follow through? But Helena wasn't weak. She never was. What was happening to her, and maybe to you, had nothing to do with willpower. It had to do with an internal protection mechanism. And now I'm going to show you this in the smallest details. I'm going to tell you something that maybe no one has ever had the courage to tell you, at least not this clearly. You don't give up because you're weak. You give up because your mind is trying to protect you. Yes, protect you. And this protection is much older than you imagine. To the human brain, change is not evolution. Change is threat. It doesn't know you're growing. It doesn't know you're transforming. It doesn't know you're moving towards something better. It only knows that you're leaving familiar territory. And to the primitive mind, unknown territory. Risk of death. That's exactly what you heard. Your brain reacts to change the same way it would react to a physical threat. And when that happens, it activates a set of automatic mechanisms: doubt, sudden laziness, mental confusion, forgetfulness, lack of focus, emotional exhaustion, irritability, the urge to quit, logical thoughts suggesting you stop, the feeling that this isn't for you, the desire to disappear. None of these thoughts are real. They are just defense. Your internal system is not afraid of failure. It is afraid of growth. Because growing requires things that deeply scare the mind. Facing discomfort, taking responsibility, leaving people behind, abandoning excuses, changing habits, sustaining the new, letting go of the old identity, being seen, being judged, facing your own strength, losing what used to define you. And to the ancient mind, that is terrifying. Now pay close attention to this. Every real change goes through a critical phase. That phase is called the Valley of Resistance. It's the moment when you've already left the old, but haven't arrived at the new yet. It's an emotional limbo. an empty space between two worlds, and the mind hates that. It hates not being able to predict. It hates when you change direction. It hates losing control, so what does it do? It tries to drag you back to where everything was uncomfortable but familiar. And that is exactly why you give up halfway through. It's not bad luck. It's not failure. It's not incompetence. It's the valley of resistance. And here's the most important part of all. The point where you want to give up is exactly the point where you're closest to transformation. And that's why it hurts. That's why it scares you. That's why it feels heavy. Because that's the exact moment when the old pattern realizes you're about to leave it. So it fights with everything it has. Not because it wants to destroy you, but because it wants to survive. Maybe this speaks directly to you. You start a project and stop on day 7. You start a new habit and suddenly lose momentum. You decide to change something, but something always happens. You feel like you're almost there, and that's exactly when you lose strength. When you're improving, a strange exhaustion appears. When you're growing, you feel like disappearing. When you're approaching something new, fear shows up without explanation. When you're about to cross the line, you feel like this isn't you. This is not coincidence. This is the valley of resistance pulling you back. And now that you're aware of it, it loses part of its power. Here is the point that truly sets you free. The urge to give up is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are exactly at the turning point. It's the moment when everything inside you screams, "Don't go!" Because everything inside you knows that if you go, nothing will ever be the same again. It's not strength that's missing. It's not discipline. It's not that you weren't born for this. What's missing is awareness. And now you have it, because now you know the pattern reacts, the pattern fights, the pattern screams, the pattern tries to survive. Not because you're weak, but because you're changing its structure. When you understand this, giving up stops being truth and becomes just a signal that you are moving forward. Today, you're going to do something simple, but very powerful. Day 3, action. When the urge to give up appears, you will say quietly, or in your mind, "This is resistance," and resistance means, "I am moving forward," and you will continue. No drama, no rush, no war. No chasing motivation, just awareness and continuity. Today, you don't need to do it perfectly. You just need not to go back. One conscious step is worth more than 10 rushed ones. Today, you understood why you give up. Tomorrow, you'll understand something even deeper. Why you go back to things you've already outgrown. Things you know hurt you, slow you down, pull you backward, that don't match the person you're becoming. Day 4 will reveal the psychological bond that keeps you tied to the past and how to cut it with clarity. Come back tomorrow. The journey is getting stronger. And so are you. If this moved something inside you, don't ignore it. Tomorrow you'll understand the deepest part of the cycle. The conversation continues. Take care.